And that's another win for the St. Louis Blues as they take down the Montreal Canadiens 6-1 behind 6 goals from 6 different players. And what a game. Just an absolute dominant game from the St. Louis Blues tonight. Again, as they beat the Montreal Canadiens 6-1. Just overall impressive victory for the Blues. From the drop of the puck, they were after it, they were on it, they were all over the place. Philip Broberg, Dylan Holloway, Zach Bolduc, Nathan Walker. I mean, what more can you ask? What more can you ask from a team that is playing its best hockey at the right time? Really are the best hockey at the right time, as they've now won 7 straight games. 2 goals in the first period, 2 in the second, 2 in the third as well. You get, I mean, just, I don't, I mean, you look at this team now compared to what it was a month and a half ago. You wouldn't have thought this. They're now 13-2-1 since the Four Nations face-off break, or what would also be considered like the All-Star break, basically. Just again, impressive win tonight by the Blues. Just again, start to finish. Let's take a look at the box score here from tonight's game as well. You get the first period, you look at just the shots on goal. It just tells you how dominant of a first period the Blues had tonight. 14 shots on goal for the St. Louis Blues compared to the 5 for the Montreal Canadiens. The second period was a little bit better of a period for the Montreal Canadiens at 13 shots compared to the Blues 12 shots, but didn't have anything to show for it. In the third period, another dominating period by the Blues. From the start of the period to the end of the period, 11 shots to 7 shots in favor of the Blues in this one. It just, again, what a game for the St. Louis Blues tonight. Take a look here. Just as some other stats across it. Face-off wise, it was about even. 50%, 51% for the St. Louis Blues, at 50.9% compared to 49.1% for the Canadiens. Penalty minutes, and this is where the Canadiens got themselves in trouble. I mean, the Blues only went 1 for 3 on the power play tonight, but 30 minutes of penalty time or penalty minutes for the Montreal Canadiens. That was 2 10-minute misconducts towards the end of the game when things tried to get a little feisty, but the referees, they just weren't having it. 8 minutes for the St. Louis Blues. So not just a dominant period, but also very disciplined game for the St. Louis Blues tonight too. Big win for the team. You get 13 block shots, 25 hits, which they actually were out hit, according to the stat sheet, by the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know where and how or when that would have happened for the game I watched tonight. 8 takeaways for the Blues in this game, helped get them to that 6-1 win early on in the game. I mean, they sweep. Yeah. So again, 6-1 win tonight for the St. Louis Blues. You get goals from Jordan Kyrou, his 31st of the season. You get a goal from Dylan Holloway, his 24th of the season. Robert Thomas, his 19th of the season. So one away from another 20 goal scorer for the Blues on the year. Alexander Texier had another goal tonight after being a healthy scratch for the last 16 weeks or 16 games prior to the other day against it was Chicago when he made his, debut, but return to the ice. He has now 2 goals in 3 games for the Blues tonight. We got a little comment here. Ethan, I I agree. Yeah, definitely has a little bit of some 2019, rumblings a little bit. And 7 in a row is a lot as it is. To win 11 and 12 in a row. I mean, if it wasn't realistically for that loss in I had it pulled up here. Looking at the overtime loss in LA, this would have been, say they won that game. It would have been what, 1, 2, 3, 10-game win streak if they would have won that game back in LA. and then you get that game against Dallas, which wasn't a good game overall. I mean, you look at that point, they were 4 straight going into that game against Dallas, and then won 2 straight, lost that overtime game to LA, and now have won 7 straight games, and they get to take on a Nashville Predators team who have a little bit of bad blood right now between the two. Between the two teams after a hit in Nashville the other night on Buchnevich, who's still not in the lineup, is hopefully returning soon. So we'll see what happens. You get that you end a nice little home stretch where you got a big win against Vancouver. You got a big win. You got 2 big division wins against teams you should beat in Nashville and Chicago. And then you get a big win against the second hottest team, as since the Four Nations tournament, the second hottest team in the 6-1 win tonight. This is 7 straight games, I believe. Luke Cork said the 7 straight games or 6 straight games of 4+ goals for the Blues as well. I don't know. We'll see. Can Winnie make it up, or are they cooked? What do you mean by hold up? You gotta explain to me Winnie. Sorry. I mean, unless you're talking about Winnipeg. I don't even know. The only thing I could think of was Winnipeg. Yeah, okay. Winnipeg Jets. I as much as I'd like to see it, I don't know if I think the Winnipeg Jets are I don't want to say they're the best matchup for the Blues. I don't. I think if you're looking at more of a long-term playoff run, which I'm hoping it is the case here, that they actually play the Knights. I know it sounds a little bit sketchier that they, a little further trip out to Vegas, but you look at the second round, you get Edmonton or LA. Personally, I think that's the better route if you want to make a deeper run than Winnipeg. I think they're 2 points behind Minnesota for the second or for that first wild card spot right now, anyways. Which we'll pull up here. So now it's sitting 2 points behind behind the Minnesota Wild, and I wouldn't even think of this as possible a couple weeks ago that they're plus 15 in the goal differential side of things. 2 points behind the Winnipeg Jets. Do they catch Colorado? I don't think they catch Colorado. I don't know if we get to that point. See what happens, I guess. We'll see what happens. Anyways, tonight's game, again, just an outstanding performance from the St. Louis Blues. To get back to the stats here. In the third period, you had Philip Broberg as well get a goal, and Zach Bolduc, who had his 15th. Broberg had his 8th. Bennington had another great game. He was solid in net. Pretty much from the game. He had an ugly goal, I guess, a not so great goal allowed on the Nick Suzuki goal. But I mean, other than that, another big win for the St. Louis Blues, as they're now sitting 2 points out of the first wild card spot in the Western Conference, and they'll head to Nashville to take on the Nashville Predators on Thursday night, and then they get a Saturday afternoon matinee game, 3:30 puck drop in Colorado before they come back home to take on the Red Wings, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Colorado Avalanche. Let's see, who else is that? As we wrap up the end of March and into April. And then they're on the road at Winnipeg, at Edmonton, at Seattle, and then home against Utah to wrap up the rest of the season. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys hopefully on the next one. We're going to do our best to give you to bring these to you each and every night and every day that the Blues play. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next Blues Notes post-game show or pre-game show. If you missed the pre-game show, go check it out earlier on. So thanks again for watching. Appreciate it.